All right, welcome in, everybody. Sports Heroic Podcast back. It might be, I think this is episode number 8.
Welcome in,
What do
everybody.
you think?
Damn, it's been that many already, huh?
Yeah, I think it's been 8 because we did
Yeah, I think it's been.
a couple in between the week, right? We've done like 2 in between the week, and I think we've done.
Yep,
This might be our 6th week on the weekend. I think. Has it been that
I
long?
think so. I think so.
I'm Chris. That's Jesse. We Hardwood Heroics is the site. Well, it's actually four. It's actually 4 sites, but we only promote 2 of them because the other 2 we don't really write for. The 2 we don't write for is Gridiron Heroics and I think Home Plate Heroics. The baseball and football one,
I think that's
and
around.
the one that I sometimes write to is Wisconsin Sports Heroics. Go over there, check that out. For all Wisconsin teams, you got, I know not much going on with the Badgers or Marquette, but Marquette, Badgers, you got the Bucks, you got the Brewers, you got, I think there's even a minor league baseball team, the Milkmen, in there as well. So go check that out. And then Hardwood Heroics, uh, lots of content on there. Either
Mm-hmm.
lots of general stuff too. We're also on Newsbreak as well. Yard
Yes,
Barker,
sir.
I believe MSN. I'm not sure of all of it, but I know for sure Newsbreak is one of the places you can also find it.
Mm-hmm.
So check us out. Also check us out on our YouTube. Um, just look up Sports Heroic, and it'll be right on there, the logo, and I can put it in chat here too. Subscribe to that, totally free. Check out all the stuff. Jesse knows a lot more about basketball than I do, so
I don't think that's true.
don't take my take seriously because I just throw shit out there. No, we have a lot of fun. We've been doing this, I think, for a month and a half now. We just kind of met on a writing site and just kind of
Yep.
wanted to do something different besides writing. And I say, hey, I stream sometimes. What do you think? Yeah, let's do it. And here we are. So
Yep.
yeah, I enjoy
That was
doing
very
this. This is
good.
fun. You're pretty easy to work with too, which is good as well.
Same.
Yeah,
Yeah, have a lot of fun doing it.
yeah. Hopefully we can continue to do this with whatever direction we go here. Doesn't really
Yes,
matter
sir.
to me.
Nope.
Um, I better turn my phone down so I don't hear all that shit. All right. So NBA playoffs have been quite interesting this year. We're down to one game tomorrow as the Nuggets wrapped it up tonight on the Clippers. Beat them pretty bad. They were up like
Yeah.
20. They might have been up by 30 at one point. Um, yeah, they ended up winning 120-101. Kind of figured that would happen. Kind of figured the Clippers would run out of gas in that one.
I gotta see something real quick before
I
I
was
say
surprised to
something
even win
about it.
7 games. I didn't think the Clippers would, get the last game to force it to game 7.
Okay. So it was confirmed. So you remember how we talked about a couple weeks ago that if it does go to Game 7, the Clippers are screwed
Yeah.
because of a certain player that seems to fall a little bit short in big moments.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep,
Exactly.
Mr. James Harden with 7 points and a plus minus of minus 29.
Minus 29. Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah,
God.
yeah, 13 assists, 5 rebounds, but 7 points.
And 8
When it's
shots.
supposed to
2
get
of
you like
8.
25. Yeah,
Zubat, another big game. Yeah. And we'll have to tell. I mean, Norman Powell minus 31. Kawhi Leonard minus 33. Those are your starters right there. That is really bad
that's
plus
terrible.
minus.
A little bit.
You can't have that as your starting unit be. I mean, who was the best out of their starters? Derek Jones minus 11 for their starters.
Yeah, pretty much. Besides Kawhi.
Yeah, when you got
Ouch.
Kobe Brown and Drew Eubanks having better plus minus, that's pretty bad.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Clippers will have some decisions too because you know their bench. They got Bogdanovich, but he wasn't much of a factor all playoffs. Uh, that's about all they have off the bench. They don't have much of a bench. Norman Powell's getting old. James Harden's getting old. This was kind
Hmm.
of the 1 year Kawhi stayed healthy. I mean, how much can you really bank on that? You're probably going to go and get somebody besides Derek Jones because you can probably get an upgrade there. And really, Zubac's really the only kind of non-question mark, I think, going forward.
What if they went out and got KD in the offseason?
Well, they'd have to trade, so do they? I don't even know if they
Yeah.
have draft picks or anything.
They could trade Bogey. I think they'd be willing to give up Powell.
Yeah, because, Phoenix, they'd like to get rid of the salary. I think they'd take a couple picks, and they wouldn't really need a superstar because I think they're probably trying to rebuild now.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you don't really have a choice in the matter.
I mean, if you could fill in for if you get James Harden back and Kawhi stays, Zubac, you add Durant, take out
Hmm.
Derek Jones, and you still got Norman Powell that can shoot. It'd be a definite upgrade for that offense.
It'd be scary
What do you
to
do with
keep
the
Powell for
bench,
sure.
though? I mean,
I mean,
that
your
is
bench
a
would be gone.
that is a
You'd basically be going all in.
yeah, that is a scary bench. Nicholas Batum. I mean, how old is he now? He'll be 37 in December.
Yeah.
Drew Eubanks, Bogdanovich, Chris Dunn, Jordan Miller, Kobe Brown, and Cam Christie.
Yeah, you'd basically be going all in if you tried to get KD for sure. Maybe gives you like a year, two max to chase that chip before it's all done.
I see the name Cam Christie, and I want to bring that up real quick, just because he was a Gopher, so
Okay.
um, he ended up I think transferring, but he was a really good college player. He could knock down threes, and I think earlier in the year when he was getting minutes, I know he only averaged like 1 point, but I'm not saying he could be a starter or like a sixth or seventh man, but I think they might have something in Christie. He's a good three
Yeah,
point shooter.
maybe.
I just don't think that he doesn't have the experience to play heavy minutes. He doesn't really
Yeah.
have the trust of the coach yet to play.
Yeah.
But I think that's one name on the Clippers to kind of look out for is Cam Christie.
We shall see.
So Nuggets will go. They'll face OKC. That's going to be a good matchup.
Ooh.
I still think OKC's defense is definitely a plus in that series.
Yeah.
I think Shea can guard Murray. I think Holmgren can hold his own against Jokic. I think Jalen
I don't
Williams
know
can
about
guard.
that.
I think Jalen Williams can guard Porter or Gordon, one of the two. I think it's going to come down to obviously Shea's going to have an impact. I think it's going to come down to their role players for OKC.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I don't know if Holmgren can stand up against Jokic though. I think that might be a little bit of a stretch.
Well, he's probably going to have to come out of the out of the hoop because Jokic can
Yeah.
shoot threes too. So
Yeah.
they'll have to get some rebounding. I think that Denver might have the advantage in rebounding with Aaron Gordon. Michael Porter Jr. is a decent rebounder.
Hmm.
So if Jokic is shooting threes, OKC's got to crash the boards.
Yeah. And I think the thing for OKC is going to be like if the Nuggets play as well as I kind of think they will, then since they have the best player in the world, Chet Holmgren is going to have to ascend to be the second or third best player in the world in order for them to,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because
he's
otherwise
gonna
Jokic is going to go the fuck off, and his
he's
team
gonna
around
have
him
to
is
have
good
a huge
enough where,
series. Yeah, he's gonna have to
yeah,
be not just good Chet Holmgren. He's gonna have to be like out of the world, like Rudy Gobert against the Lakers
oh
in the last
god,
game.
yeah, yeah, yeah. The one
We'll wait.
fucking,
We'll
the
wait to
one
talk about
good
that.
game.
Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, they'll play Monday. That's going to be at OKC. I'm. What are people saying about that? They think it's going to be a blowout. They think it'll be a close series. What do you think? You think it's going to be a close series?
I don't think anybody expected Denver to get through the Clippers.
Yeah,
So I
that's
think they
true.
kind of shocked
Yeah,
everybody at that point because with how Kawhi Leonard was playing, it was like, oh, this shit's over. And then all of a sudden, Denver's like, nah. So I think either way, it's going to be a really good series.
I think the Clippers were favored tonight. I really do on the road.
Yeah.
I think. Let me look that up. I'm pretty sure they were favored.
No reason for him not to be, but
Yeah,
you got your second best player on your team only taking 8 total shots and making 2 of them. Doesn't quite help.
hmm yeah, they were favored on the road.
Good old, good old James Harden in Game Sevens, man.
That's gonna always be with him too. That's what his career will be defined by is, you know, not showing up in the playoffs.
Yeah, like a really awesome regular season player. Um, and he's really solid until Game 5 usually,
Yeah,
and then as it progresses after that, not so much.
like that one game. What did he shoot? Like 3 of 19 that one game. That was with the Rockets or whatever the hell in the playoffs. Just kept clanking them
Yeah,
off the front rim, front rim, front
yeah,
rim. Well,
yeah.
keep shooting them. Keep shooting those
He's like,
threes.
he's like, dude, the season's over. I want to get out of here. I want to go party. Fuck
Yeah,
all this.
yeah. He wanted to get back out to L.A. and go to the clubs, and
Exactly. It's like
him and
maybe
John
if I
Morant.
just tank, yeah, like the better, like the more I tank, the quicker we can wrap this shit up and I can get out of here.
Well, I think what it was John Morant's already there waiting for him. He probably called him
Oh,
and said, "Don't
probably.
win this game. We got a party. I'm already here.
Yeah.
Come on out to L.A.
Yeah.
I've been here for a week."
Yeah, I've been here for a couple days already. Yep. Whew.
um, yeah. So that's Monday.
Sneezing.
Let's see. We're in the West. Warriors Rockets. I am very surprised that the Rockets somehow got Game 5 and 6, and they're gonna go back home
Yeah.
now. They're gonna go back home for Game 7 tomorrow.
Yeah, that's a little crazy to me.
Just seems like it's gonna be a Steph Curry game, doesn't it? Tomorrow, it's just gonna be like where he explodes for like 40. One of those
I
games
mean,
where
you
you
would
can't
hope so.
miss.
Well, I mean, if it's a Game 7, yeah, I hope so. I really hope so. Because like I said, I mean, as I most eloquently stated in my beautiful article, like I want, I mean, because he's the last one from the old guard in the fucking playoffs now. So I want him to pop off.
Yeah,
Like I want to get as many of those vintage Curry moments as possible in the next couple years, because like dude, it's gonna be a while before we see somebody else like him.
yeah. He had 29 in Game 6. He hit six threes. Butler at 27. Can they get anything out of Draymond Green? And Buddy Hield uh, he's been
Yeah,
non-existent in these playoffs.
yeah. Maybe they're worn
Like,
down. Who knows?
and I don't know what's going on with him. They had to move him ahead of Moody because Moody was struggling in that lineup. So they ended up starting Buddy and 0 of 4, 0 of 4 from 3. No points. Gary Payton had 5. Draymond had 8, and that's pretty much their scoring.
Yeah.
I mean, they gotta find a third person to help Curry and Butler, especially if one of them goes to
Yeah.
the bench. Like, what do they do?
And I think that kind of says a lot too, because if Gary Payton isn't really scoring or getting the ball, that just means he's out there purely for defense, or he's getting tired from playing defense. I mean, that's not good if he's having to try that hard late in the series, if that's the case, because
Yeah,
they lost 2 straight games and he's a good defender, but they definitely need him to score. They need Draymond to score, but if neither of those two are scoring at all, just defending all game, that's not really good.
no, and I know Payton's a decent 3-point shooter. I think he's always been, but They can't
Yeah.
rely on Gary Payton to make threes for him, right? That ain't gonna make or break
Well,
the
no.
series.
Well, no, but drawing fouls and stuff like that. I mean, it's just I don't know. It's more like telling of how the Rockets are playing them than anything because
Yeah.
the Warriors just aren't getting into a swing at all, and they dropped 2 straight games, and they had a chance to win one of them. I don't know why Kerr told everybody,
Yeah, they
but
did. It's been a
they
pretty tight.
definitely
It's
could have
been a
won that
pretty
game.
tight series. That's been a pretty kind of like that Laker Denver game. It's been a pretty good series.
Yeah.
You know, I
That
mean,
was not Laker Denver. It was Clippers Denver. All right. You don't need to talk about the Lakers like they're still here. All right.
and I'm
I know they're
excited
not.
to see that game 7 tomorrow. That's going to be pretty cool in Houston.
Yeah.
Sengun they were going to Sengun down the stretch too, and he just kept finding Van Vliet. And Van Vliet
Yeah.
was 6 of 9 from 3, 29 points. Van Vliet was great. 9 of 9 from the
Yeah.
line.
Oh shit. I gotta run downstairs and grab something. I will
No
be right
problem.
back.
No problem. Yeah, so the Rockets force a game 7. That'll be tomorrow in Houston at 7:30 on TNT. So tune on in there, and just remember we are on YouTube as well. We're on Kick. We're on Twitch. Go follow us over on Twitter. Find us on Twitter, Sports Heroics, at Roost Twins, at Jax Skellington, JaxSkelington at Twitter. Go over to our YouTube, subscribe. It's all free. Check us out. We post all our podcasts on there. Typically, we do Saturdays, and we've been trying to do some during the week as well. We've been pumping that out a couple times. So yeah, follow us all on those. We do it on live every Saturday, so it's not just a recording. You can actually see what we actually look like. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but
Yeah.
some people like
Yeah.
to see what they hear. And
Yep.
yeah. So I was just saying that the Warrior Rockets game's tomorrow at 7:30, and that's a game 7, so that should be rocking there.
Yep.
And, well, I guess we'll keep it in the West. We already know OKC, destroyed Memphis.
Yeah.
Timberwolves, Lakers.
Yeah.
Wolves win in 5. They shockingly win Game 5 in LA. A lot of people were saying they're going to wrap it up in 6, after how the Wolves started, but they got it done in 5. And after JJ Redick in Game 4 had the starters out there the whole half. 40-year-old LeBron James, 24 straight minutes in that
Never
second
been
half.
done before.
And you could tell they looked gas in both games. The fourth quarter, they were horrendous all series, especially games 4 and 5. They were bad.
Yeah. Yeah, the Wolves are a little bit better than everybody thought they were, myself included.
And no pressure on Redick. No pressure at all. They say he's coming back, which, I mean, I kind of agree with.
Is that a 3-year deal?
I kind of like the quote that he said is, we need to get in championship shape. Was he pointing fingers at somebody?
I don't think so. I think it was. I think when you have an all-time great that has played 22 seasons and went to 10 straight finals, JJ Redick's looking at that as the standard. Like if they want to be champions, that's how seriously they have to take it. So I think that's kind of a reminder to everybody else, the fuck are we even doing this for? If you guys actually want to win, that's talk to that dude. That's what it takes.
Yeah.
You can't fall asleep on defense at any given moment. I think he was primarily talking about their play style and everything like that, because he talked about multiple times that it wasn't necessarily a scheme or anything like that.
Yeah.
I think guys were mostly taking the moment for granted, like Luka included, where they would just kind of give up buckets and be like, oh, we can get that back later. But LeBron has even stated, he stated on the Mind the Mind the Game pod that like you can't do that shit in the playoffs. You can't do that shit in the finals
Yeah.
because good teams and smart teams, you can't afford to make mistakes. Now, granted, he was a no-show in both fourth quarters of Game 4 and Game 5. Complete no-show.
Mm-hmm.
But still, dude's also 40 years old. Played like, a couple straight quarters.
Yeah.
And well, yeah, he's probably a little gassed. He doesn't recover as fast as he used to. So everybody else
Yeah.
around him needs to step up, including Luca. And Luca, like, he's a good scoring for a little while. Yeah, he was sick, but like, what was going on before that? You guys could have been up 3-2,
Yeah.
but been criticized for your defense the entire series. Like,
Yeah.
just not small or like not big enough and blah blah blah, which we already fucking knew that going into the series. Like, we knew they weren't going to be big enough.
Yep.
They weren't big enough when they were leading the league in defense for 8 straight weeks.
Yep.
So I don't think you can't really point your finger at like, oh, they were too small. They were too small. Oh my God, Gobert's the best player on the planet. He had one good fucking game. All right, like he had one good game. It just happened to be that game. He had one good game, but he caused enough problems earlier in the series. They weren't able to execute their specific play style,
Yeah.
which is facilitating and all that. Like they were being lazy. Like it did not look like they were trying very hard. It's as stupid as that is to say, like
Mm-hmm.
they didn't look like they really, really wanted to win.
Yeah, it's true though. I mean, they don't have enough playmakers. Huchimura, he had decent games, but all he really does is shoot threes. He caught fire,
Yeah.
Games 4 and 5. I think he scored in the 20s, but they really didn't have anybody else. And like,
No.
I kind of blame Game 4, Luka being sick, and they were gassed. They were short on a lot of their shots. They were off to the
Yeah.
side a lot. They weren't getting loose balls, and just seemed like every 50-50 ball went to the Wolves. Like you could see like McDaniels and like Conley saving the ball from out of bounds. The Lakers were just kind of standing
Yeah.
looking around, but 24 straight minutes, it takes a toll on you. And I mean,
Well, you can kind of see that too because LeBron got blocked by Conley.
yeah, yeah. He might have under 20 career blocks for his career.
Yeah.
And like
And
Game 5,
yeah.
you have Jackson Hayes sitting on the bench. You got to
Yep.
counter with some size. Gobert's killing you. And JJ had to stick to his ego and say, nope, I said he's not playing. So I'm not going to play him. At that point, you're going to go home if you lose here. You need to do whatever
I
you
th-
can.
I think part of that was, I don't know. I think JJ Redick's like a twisted enough individual that he wants to keep a lot of the core guys, so he put them through it. He
Yeah.
made them play. Be like, if you guys want to fucking lose, then here, you can lose for an entire half, and then for most of the next game, like this is all on you. I've done my job. We got the third seed. We got a random dude. Well, not really a random dude, but you know what I mean? Like halfway through the season, we lost like one of the two guys that our whole thing was designed around,
Yeah.
and our entire identity, like on the defensive end, is gone now. We have
Yep.
this dude that is a madman on offense but plays no defense.
Yeah.
How do we compensate for that? Well, our offense is gonna have to be really fucking good.
Mhm.
And so
It wasn't.
I think and I think he left him out there to send a message, like exactly that. Like, okay, if you guys are gonna do jack shit on defense, at least make it up on the offense. Oh, you're tired? Well, then I guess you don't have what it takes because that team came prepared, and they weren't supposed to win,
Yeah.
but they beat the shit out of you. So it's like, yeah, you can lose this on your own. Have fun.
Yeah.
Suffer through it. Like, show the world that you basically gave up because you were tired in the playoffs.
Yeah. We talked about fourth quarter, and so game 3, 30-20 favor the Wolves in the fourth. Game 4, 32-19 favors the Wolves in the fourth. Game 5, 22-16 favors the Wolves. They need to
Yep.
find an extra gear if it is they are tired, or they need to find some other players that can step up and score. If they
Yeah.
do have to take a break. I mean, 16, 19, and 20 in this day and age in the NBA, that is not efficient at all. That is not going to get it done.
Oh, and if they were like a couple of points closer in all those games, they won the series.
It could definitely change the momentum too. You know,
Like they weren't completely getting blown out. They were pretty close games. If they wouldn't have collapsed in the fourth quarters,
yeah.
and that deficit was a little bit closer, they win at least 2 of those 3 games.
Well, 2 of the 3 games they had leads going into the fourth.
Yeah,
I think Game 3 didn't they have a 10-point lead going into the fourth?
I believe so. And then yeah, they gave it up, and then it was
Yeah,
really close at the end. It was
and
like,
then
dude, why are we?
and Edwards
Yeah,
went bananas in that fourth. You
yeah,
know, do you
yeah. He was
think
putting in some work.
this could just be me, but I didn't think the Lakers fans were really into it. Their home games at all. I mean, they won Game 2, but I still don't think they're really into it. I mean, I was watching. It's like these guys are quiet. What is going on here?
They're pretty quiet. I mean, they got a little rowdy towards the end of the game when the Lakers started coming back.
Do you
It was
think
kind of going
after the
back and
Wolves
forth,
took a
but
2-1 lead, do you think the fans kind of understood, like, oh yeah,
I think so.
we're probably done here?
I think so. I think after game 1, they were like, oh shit. And then game 2, and they're like, okay, man, yeah, maybe. And then yeah,
Do you
it was
bet at
over from
all?
there.
Do you bet at all on games or anything?
Nah,
You doing a betting
I
or anything?
used to. I used to.
Say if you took the Wolves in this series, could have made someone quite a good money, right?
I wasn't gonna do that. I wasn't gonna do that. Should have.
Should have should have found one of your bookies and put some money down on them,
Oh yeah, yeah. I got dudes on speed dial for sure.
huh? All
But
right.
yeah,
So yeah, Wolves. I think they still have to wait here because of that Houston Golden State game. I think that's going to start Tuesday. And if it's at Houston, it'll be at Houston. If it's Golden State, Minnesota's got home court. It'll start in
I think
Minnesota
Minnesota.
on Tuesday.
I think Minnesota can kick Golden State's ass for sure, as long
See,
as they
I
don't get
think the same
too.
thing because I think they have matchup issues, just like they did with the Lakers.
Yeah, I think as long as they don't get too high, and they're not gonna be like, oh, we're the biggest, baddest, kind of like Memphis, where it's like, yeah, we're tough shit, even though we haven't won anything yet. Like you guys still have a long way to go.
Yeah,
Like even if you get through Golden State, you still have to either deal with Denver or OKC, neither of which anybody wants to play.
no, I think
So like,
so. So if you look at the matchups for Golden State and the Wolves, you know, nobody can really guard Curry. I don't know who it would
no,
be, but Draymond can defend. He'll probably be on like McDaniel's or. But then you got Edwards and Nas Reed. I think is your advantage for the Wolves, and I do think
yeah,
Gobert has a advantage because they don't have a big on that team. I mean, they have Looney, but they don't play him.
yeah.
So if they play small, they might have the same problem as the Lakers had, the inside presence for the Wolves. And I don't think
I,
anyone can
I
guard Edwards. I mean, Draymond might be able to, but I think Edwards is too quick.
I think at this point in time, though, Golden State's offense is a little bit better than the Lakers' offense. Because Lakers' offense looked really clunky.
Yeah,
Golden State definitely does too, but at least like they're missing shots because they're missing shots. They're not like they're trying to play within the system. They're just not making their shots in order for the system to work. But I think like in the Lakers' case, they weren't in good enough shape and they didn't really bring it. Like they didn't have that physicality to
yeah,
allow that system to work. Because if you're gonna play that kind of high tempo offense, like you have to be physical as shit. Like you have to be setting screen after screen after screen, and you're probably getting your ass kicked all game.
yeah.
But I think with Butler and Draymond and GP3, they're gonna be problems for the Wolves.
hmm
I think those 3 in particular.
I think both teams will have matchup issues. I really do.
Yeah,
And The other thing I'm looking at is technicals. You know, Draymond's going to try to get under your skin. Edwards can't
Yep.
get another one. He's at 19. He gets 20. He's suspended. So he's got to watch
Yep.
out.
Yeah,
You-
he does this like every single year.
You
He gets
know-
suspended like
Yeah. And you know Draymond's going to go at him and try to get him riled up.
I wonder. Wait, who has 19? Sorry.
Edwards.
Oh, okay.
Draymond, I think, has 16.
Oh, okay. I was
Or
gonna say he's
7.
Yeah, he's
I think he's at 16. So I think he can get another one before he gets suspended.
yeah, he'll get suspended at some point. It'll happen. He does this every year.
He should have last 2 games. He kicked the dude in the head. Eason in the head.
Yeah.
They gave him,
But-
instead of giving him another technical, they gave him a flagrant. So he didn't get kicked out.
Yeah, he's gonna kick Gobert in the balls. Watch.
to pay him
gonna
back for
do it.
Laker fans.
Yeah, he's gonna do it.
Here you
Punch him
go,
in the
Laker
face or
fans.
something by
Watch
accident.
this.
Gonna knock his ass the fuck out.
Yeah, so then if it's Houston, same thing. Dylan Brooks is going to stir up Edwards like the last time they played. Last time
Yeah.
they were going at it and, you know, getting physical with each other. You still got to watch out for technicals. Dylan Brooks is up there too for technicals. Fred Van Vliet can shoot. I know Jalen Green's kind of disappeared in these playoffs,
Yeah.
but he's always a threat. You know, and Sengun is good.
Yeah.
So they got some decent matchups for Houston too.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see in Game 7 how well Jalen Green does, because if he can throw down in Game 7, maybe there's hope for him. But if he falls flat in Game 7 too, maybe he's just not that good.
Yeah, they're going to need him tomorrow. He's going to have to be the 25 to 30 point Jalen Green, not the 5 to 10 point Jalen Green that we've seen a couple times here already.
Yeah, because Houston's risking their star player being their third or fourth best player.
Yeah.
Like, real quick. Real quick.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be in Houston. It's going to be rowdy. I believe Houston might be favored for. They got to be favored because they're home team, right?
I don't know.
Let me see what the line is on that.
I'd assume Golden
Houston-
State would still be favored.
Houston's favored 2.5.
Really?
Yep, they are favored. So it's all up to
Listen, real
Houston. That young squad, do they get it done or do they flop under pressure against the championship-minded Golden State? It's gonna be fun.
I think they're gonna flop. Honestly, I think it's gonna happen.
I do too. I think
They're gonna fizzle out. And then we're gonna see Curry in the Western Conference Finals or something.
I think
That'd
the
be awesome.
Warriors are gonna come out with their best defensive game of the year. They're gonna shut down Jalen Green. They're
Or he's gonna
shut
drop
down-
like 15 threes.
yeah.
Record.
Yep.
No
There
big
it
deal.
is. Yep.
Yep. It's gonna happen.
Yep.
Draymond's gonna make a couple.
Oh
super sweet.
God. Draymond.
I wonder what their record is. I wonder what their record is as a franchise if he hits like 3 or 4, maybe 5 threes in a game. They gotta be at fucking undefeated, right? Well, Game
Oh.
7 he dropped like 33 points in the finals and they still got their asses kicked, but besides that.
It's got to be very high winning percentage. Earlier in the week, Pacers wrapped up their series with the Bucks, sent Giannis home in 5 games. Halliburton with the game-winning shot. Halliburton was great in that series. He definitely took his game to another level. That series against Giannis and the Bucks.
He got me nervous though. I was pretty stoked for him that they were gonna beat the Bucks, but his style of play at the end of that game is kind of what makes me nervous about that team, because he took
Yeah.
and missed 5 or 6 straight shots,
Yeah.
trying
Kinda
to play
just
hero
jack 'em
ball
up, too.
for no reason. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, you need to fucking score. Like, just put these guys down. Stop trying to be like, I'm the one that won that shit. Like, dude,
Yeah.
just win the damn game. Just win the damn game.
And he
That's all you
just
have to do.
drove right in and got a layup. And you don't see a lot of games won with layups. You see a lot of threes, and
Yeah. Yeah.
he had a clear lane, drove in, and I think they screened Giannis. He couldn't get to the ball, and that was it. All she wrote. And then his dad
Yeah.
came out on the court. Did you see that whole debacle?
Yeah, headbutted Giannis a little bit. Then his I guess Halliburton's mom like kind of did one of these, and smacked him.
The dad or Giannis?
Giannis.
I
Yeah,
mean,
Tyrese Halliburton's mom smacked Giannis. I mean, it was kind of only like this, but still, it's like it's
what do
wild
you
shit.
what do you think about that stuff coming on the court? You think that shouldn't be allowed, right?
No, no,
And for him to say
no.
it wasn't at him, I was looking through him. That's what he said. I was looking through him, not at him. Like when he was
That's what his
taunting.
dad said.
Yeah, he wasn't taunting him or being disrespectful. He said he wasn't looking at him being disrespectful. He was looking through him.
Right. Yeah, that's some John Morant shit.
That's like I'm looking at you. I'm talking shit to you, but no, I'm not. I'm not talking about you.
Yeah.
I think he just
Like it
didn't
doesn't.
realize that Giannis was going to come at him like that. I think that's what really got him kind of flustered.
Well, Giannis even admitted after the game, he's like, dude, I have nothing but respect for the other guy. Like, yeah, we're competitive and stuff like that, but he's like, this dude's coming on the court shit talking me, and I'm trying to like, give people congratulations. Obviously, he's like still in the heat of the moment of the game. Like, that's just the wrong time, dude.
Yeah.
And it definitely is. I mean,
Yep.
Halliburton even admitted after the game, he's like, all right, dude, like, it's one thing. I mean, it's just like Little League, you know this, but like, it's one thing to be proud of your kid. It's another to start shit talking the other players because you
Yeah.
feel like your kid is better.
Yep.
It's it's the angry dad in the stands yelling. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
dude, there's no reason for it. You guys won. That you don't need to rub it in.
Yeah. Go on. Get ready for the next
It's
series.
not your
Good
place.
job. Good job. You know.
It
You know.
it's not your place as his father. It has nothing to do with you. It's your kid's accomplishment. So stay the fuck out of the spotlight. You don't
Yeah.
need to be in it.
100% agree with that. Definitely. Yep.
Like like you don't need to be embarrassing your because that I forget who it was. But I think it might have been Stephen A or one of those guys, but everybody was talking about that moment instead of the Pacers actually winning.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't highlight the fact that the Pacers won it, beat a good team, and advanced.
Yeah.
All about
It was
oh
like
Halliburton's dad. Well, what did he do? What did Giannis say?
yeah,
Well, yeah.
yeah,
You guys
exactly.
realize Pacers 1-5. That's the whole point.
Yeah. Yeah. But instead we're talking about that bullshit. So I felt pretty bad for Tyrese, honestly. Like he was the one that made the game-winning basket, and of course it was his dad that had to kind of take away from that. So that sucks.
Kind of LeVar Ball esque stuff
Yeah,
there.
kinda, kinda,
Too
yeah,
involved with what was going on, and we've seen that
yep,
with John Morant's dad too at games, kind of getting into it with other fans and players, and kind
yeah,
of on the court, walking towards them and stuff. It's like just do that stuff, off the court on your own time, and
yeah.
be
It's
be a
like
good loser, or don't taunt and be disrespectful to Giannis, who didn't
yeah,
say anything to him.
yeah, because you'd be pissed off if Giannis, if like the script, was flipped the other way,
Yeah,
and you guys lost, and Giannis came up and started, or Giannis's dad came up and started talking shit to your son.
yeah,
You'd be pretty pissed about it, you know?
and
Judging from how he reacted, like he'd be pretty pissed about it. So it's like,
good.
why are you doing that
Yeah,
to somebody else?
good job.
You're not part of the team.
Now you get to go play Cleveland. I want to see you taunt
Yeah.
in that series. I want to see his dad. Well, I think his dad's
Yeah.
banned. I think his dad's banned now.
His dad is banned from home and road games.
Yeah. So much for taunting now. I don't know how much taunting he's
Yeah.
going to do in that series though. Might be a quick
Yeah.
series for Cleveland. Although I do
It
think
might be.
Indiana. I think Indiana matches up with them better, obviously. But
Yeah, Cleveland's
yeah, they're
Cleveland's
good.
good.
They're like an OKC of the East.
Yeah, that nobody ever talks about.
No, they don't. They have Defensive Player of the Year in Mobley.
Yeah.
They have shot
Everybody
makers
was
in
like,
Garland and Spider, and
yeah.
Mobley's good. He can hit shots offensively. Nobody talks about
I
that.
think it's I think it's just because of the market. Like everybody talked about the Lakers like for the entire every single day. It was, oh, LeBron did this, LeBron did that, GOAT
Yeah,
conversation. And then, next week it was something else, GOAT conversation. Oh yeah, and in other news, Cavaliers are coming off their second 13 game winning streak. So they didn't get to 15 or 16, but yeah, they've done that like 2, 3 times in the season. And then they'll move on to something else. It's like,
Yep.
how many other teams are winning that many games in a row, decide they need to take a break, and then do it again?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, they won
dude,
64 games. Oh, now let's go talk about the Lakers and Knicks again.
yeah, let's talk about two ass teams that just happen to be huge markets.
Yeah.
Great. That's what everybody wants to hear about. Nobody wants to hear about, shitty old Cleveland. But guess what? They're really damn good.
They are. That's going to be a very tough matchup for the Knicks. Yeah. God, jeez,
Yeah.
the Knicks.
Yeah.
They
Knicks
finished
are
off
not looking
Detroit.
too good.
Detroit got it. They got it to a game 6, but just could not hang on there. They came back in the 4th, but there was too much Jalen Brunson. He proved why he was Mr. Clutch at that big 3, scoring 40 in that game. And like we said before, Detroit just they didn't have anyone else besides Cunningham. No one else could step up and help them.
Wasn't it Trent that was was going nuts for a little bit?
Gary Trent Jr. Yeah.
Oh my God! And then
He
the
ended
ball
up having
slips
a
out
big
of his
turnover.
hands.
Yeah, that one where he missed the ball.
Yeah.
He would have had open look too, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he rattled off like 5 straight threes before that. Dude, it was just light. He looked like the best player in the world. And then that one, actually, he had like 2 fuck ups. I think he had like a lazy turnover, a stupid turnover on one side, and then yeah, he had that between the hands mishap. Yeah,
The Knicks
that sucks for them.
skate by. I'll say skate by with a series win, even
Oh,
though
yeah.
it was 4-2. I mean, Detroit had that missed call on 3. They lost this
Yep.
game, this game 6 by 3 points. Very easily could have gone to a game 7 or even Detroit's favor game in 6.
Yeah, it was kind of looking like it would for a little bit. I was like, oh shit, Detroit might pull this off. We might have a
Yeah,
beast in the East. But calls had to go in the Knicks' favor. So
and they'll go on.
bullshit.
The Knicks will play the Celtics. Knicks Celtics. That'll be on Monday night. What do you think about that matchup? I don't think
Dude,
the Knicks match up well with the Celtics at all. I really don't.
I think if the Knicks barely won against Detroit, they're gonna get the shit beat out of them by the Celtics for sure.
Although I keep
It's
forgetting
like-
about Bridges. He's a good defender, so maybe he can guard either Brown or Tatum.
Yeah, but Cat's gonna have to play like his evolved form for a couple of straight games. I don't know if he's capable of doing that.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Like
Yeah.
Angry Cat is very, very good, but he's not always angry. He's not always like, I'm gonna take over this game.
And he's been inconsistent in that
Yeah.
Detroit series. And you know
Yep.
what? They don't even play him late in games. For defensive purposes, he still can't defend. They take him out. He's an All NBA player, and he's still getting taken out. You name me another All NBA player that gets taken out in the 4th quarter for defense purposes. Like no one.
Yeah.
But he's the one. Like, if he had any defense at all, he goes to and he's into the game, he's into it, and then he misses 3 shots in a row. Now he's just kind of head down. Oh, okay,
Yeah,
I'm on
he's
the
like,
bench now.
fuck it. Yep.
It's just only his body language is great.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Celtics are gonna have a lot of trouble with them. I mean, especially like something that really got me was if the same thing would have happened, like if the same thing I'm about to say would have happened to the Knicks players, the coach would have not have reacted this way. But that game that Tatum went down with that thumb injury or the wrist injury or whatever the hell it was,
On that dunk or
you
whatever.
can see Joe Mazzulla on the other side screaming at him like, "Get up, get up!"
Yeah.
And they were asking him about it after the game. He's like, "Yeah, why the fuck are you on the ground for your wrist? Like, come on, so that's a star player."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Dude, stop being a little bitch right now. Like, we don't have time for that. We don't have time for that." A little bit different on the Knicks side. Like, granted, Thibodeau's
yeah.
like a hardcore coach, but like that just it shows what kind of coach Joe Mazzulla is and what kind of ship he's running.
Yeah.
It's like his he wasn't even mad about the foul or anything like that. He could give a shit less. He cared that his star player was making himself look like a little, little bitch.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like,
he
damn,
was.
all
He
right.
was. It's like,
Like
get
that
your
is,
ass up. You don't get. You
yeah,
don't lay down for something like this.
yeah, like that is a championship mentality right there.
Yeah.
Like, no, no, you're not hurt. We have a job to do. If you're hurt, then get off the floor instead of laying on it. Like,
Yep.
get your ass up. It's like, damn, that is your star player.
Yeah. That's crazy.
That is your star player. So I thought that was dope.
Yeah. Darius Garland. Oh, I think I disappeared.
Yeah, he froze up a little bit.
I'll have to fix this. Where am I at? Darius Garland is questionable for game one in that matchup.
I think they'll be all
Well, he
right.
hasn't really played much uh in that series, has he? Wasn't he out a couple games?
I honestly haven't really been paying attention enough to their series.
Thought he was.
They're a fun team, but yeah, I'm kind of guilty of the whole like you just expect Cleveland to end up in the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm not really interested in who they have to beat to get there. I just assume they'll beat them.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
they're just like they're good. So it's I kind of get why nobody really talks about them. It's like, yeah, they're like yeah, they're kicking everybody's ass. Like people were talking about OKC, but it was always like who could beat the Cavs, who could beat OKC, who could beat
Hmm.
Boston. It was never like these guys are the best in the league. Let's talk about them all the time. It was like, yep, they're still kicking everybody's ass. Who's gonna beat them?
Yeah. Yep.
It's just weird.
You still think it's gonna be Boston Cleveland? You think?
Think so. Yep.
Yeah. I think I agree. I agree too.
Be an exciting series. I think Cleveland can. I think Cleveland can do it.
That'd be a great series, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Two teams that can defend as well. Two teams that can score. They don't like each other, so there's that factor as well.
How awesome would it be? Golden State ends up taking on OKC, beats them, and Cleveland takes on Boston and beats them. Then we would have yet again a Golden State Cleveland Cavaliers finals
Nope.
without LeBron.
It's got to be the Timberwolves.
Yeah, it's got to be the Timberwolves because it'd feel weird. It would feel weird having a Western Conference team. Or it would feel weird. Oh wait, no, because they'd have to. Yeah, it'd still be Cleveland.
Now,
It's
I
gonna
think
feel weird seeing Cleveland in the finals without LeBron.
it's
Thinking about it.
weird. Now, if Curry loses, think about that. Without Curry, without no Durant, no Harden anymore, no LeBron, no Luca.
Yep, yep.
Well, there's some
No Russ.
heavy hitters that are out there.
All the new generation except for good old Mike Conley.
And his one block. You like
Yeah,
that
dude.
block? That was a pretty sweet block, man. That was awesome.
I think it was Gilbert Arenas was talking about it. He's like, this is how you could tell. Or no, I think it was Jeff Teague actually on his podcast.
Yeah, I
One
think
of
it
the
was Teague.
funniest ones. I love Teague. He's so fucking funny.
Former Wolf
But
too,
yeah,
so he's
he's
probably pro Wolf.
yeah. And he's like, this is how you know that LeBron doesn't give a shit. And he starts going off on a bunch of different things.
Yeah,
And one of them was he got blocked by Mike Conley. He's
yeah,
like, when the fuck have you ever heard of LeBron getting blocked, much less by someone that's like a foot shorter than him?
yeah. Not much. Even Conley
And he's
was
like
surprised he got a
joking.
block too. He was surprised.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like joking and laughing throughout the game. So I'm like, yeah, LeBron's pretty much checked out of this one, I think.
Yeah,
He probably saw it. He probably saw the same thing JJ Redick did and was just like, this group ain't it.
no.
Like we got a long ways to go, so what the fuck am I gonna put my body through hell for the next couple games? Like we already lost.
Let's just work on the off season. Work. Let's find. Well, and that the Lakers, you know, they're gonna go out and do something. That's the thing with the
They
Lakers.
have to.
They're not
They
gonna
have
sit
to.
back and cut salary and do salary dumps. You know, that's just not the team they are. They're probably gonna get. Seeing this series, they might get a big man. They might get another like guard to take the ball handling off Luca every single time.
Another fantasy trade would be super dope because I feel like that organization and that coach above everybody else could get this dude in shape. But how fucking awesome would it be if they ended up getting Zion?
Zion, yeah. I was thinking
He would
about that
fix
too.
literally all of their problems. They could
Yeah,
sell they could sell their future for that dude. If they made the if he was committed with him and Luca, oh my God, that would be because Luca then wouldn't have to play defense.
yeah. I think that
As
would
long as
ease.
Zion stayed healthy, oh my God.
I think that would ease the departure of LeBron too, because you already now you have another
Yep.
like soon to be superstar if he can stay healthy, and Zion Williamson. Oh, well, he's
Yeah.
following the footsteps of LeBron. Kind of the same
Yeah.
thing.
And then you'd have Austin Reeves who could basically he's a solid ass playmaker. So like of course it's fantasy trade, but one dude would answer all of their questions if you could somehow not give up too much. Like
Yeah,
that would kind of involve like the Pelicans basically foregoing, whatever offseason deal they signed with him last year. I don't know. It probably will never happen, but Zion in a high market team, big market city,
yeah.
surrounded by adoring fans.
I think you need to write that at Hardwood Heroics. Put
Might need to.
headline: Breaking Zion to the Lakers.
Yep.
One more year for
Yep.
LeBron. That's
Yeah.
the other thing I heard. The rumors and inner circle stuff to LeBron saying he wants to play at least one more year. He's not done, but he said he's open to playing elsewhere if he has to,
Golden
and he
State.
doesn't want to take a pay cut, from what they say.
Golden State. Golden State.
Now here's the other thing I'll throw at you with Zion. What if Zion ends up in San Antonio and they keep Wemby and the guard that got hurt? God, why am I not thinking this? De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron
If
Fox, Wemby, and Zion. What do you think about that? They'd probably have to get rid of Castle. They'd probably have to trade Castle or one of their, young guns, if they have a young gun. But what do you think about that? Him on that team?
I think whoever Zion goes to is an instant championship contender if he's bought in and he's playing.
Except for New Orleans, right? Because they're just a
Yeah.
dumpster fire.
Yeah. But honestly, like
Yeah.
with the exception of like maybe 4 teams in the league, whatever team he goes to would make everybody better. Like
Now he goes to a team like Washington or Charlotte or Utah. That's just bad. That's bad
Yeah.
for him. That's trouble.
yeah, they're one of the 6 teams, or like Portland.
Yeah.
But
He doesn't want to go to Utah because there's no nightlife in Utah.
yeah. Well, there's
He'd be
yeah,
bored off his ass out in Utah.
yeah. But I
Shit's
mean
closing
like
at 10 o'clock. Like, what's this?
but even if you went to like Phoenix, who's struggling, like any team that ends up with that dude, if he goes somewhere, is 10 times better.
Or they keep Durant, get a guard, get rid of Beal, and put Zion on that
Yep.
team.
Yeah, they could.
I don't know who they would get for a guard, but let's say it's a veteran guard, not like Chris Paul's age. Maybe 30 or 31, who can
I
still
honestly
score.
at that point, I would almost rather have Brandon Ingram on the team with KD
Yeah,
because they're both like 7 feet tall and they can shoot.
yeah,
So that I mean, we still wouldn't have any defense at all, but
yeah.
that offense would be a fucking nightmare for sure.
New Orleans really, I know they're bad, but they really didn't get to play with their starting five much. They're all injured. McCollum was injured. Ingram was out. Is it Trey Murphy, who started the season on fire, and then of
Yep.
course Zion. They were all hurt, but that's the problem with New Orleans. That's why they're always bad, because they have injuries every year, and it's
Yeah.
mainly their star players.
Yep. But
Yeah.
man, if Zion's bought in and he's taking the shit seriously, he's still him. Like you watch his games even when he's like half-ass trying, like he smells blood and he's all of a sudden you're like, Jesus Christ, I forgot he was this good. blocking everybody, dunking on motherfuckers. Like, he's a scary individual. Problem is, he's just checked out.
How's he gonna buy in though? Like how do you get him to buy in? Is it the coach, the players, the
I have no
atmosphere?
idea.
What do you have to do? All of it?
I have no idea. Because,
You
like,
have to have things perfect. I thought he had things perfect in New Orleans. They gave him the reins.
Yeah.
You're the guy.
Yeah.
Do what you want. Oh, it didn't work here. You didn't want to get in shape. You couldn't stay healthy. It's like, what do they have to do to get this guy to buy in? Like,
yeah. Like, I have a hard time believing that nobody took him by the arm and was just like, hey, you buy in, you take this shit seriously, you could probably be the greatest of all time. And he's like, all right, dope. And
Yeah.
then, he's like, I'm gonna take a snack break real quick, and they're like, what the fuck are you doing?
I gotta hit the buffet here before I check out. Well, and he's.
Yeah. He'll be the goat tomorrow.
I think there was someone that probably reached out to him. He probably had no
Hey.
interest in it, or he tried it for a while and okay, I'm good, or he got injured again and then his rehab wasn't as active. I
Yeah.
think the injuries are a part of him not being healthy. He always has to rehab. He
Yeah.
can never stay in shape.
Yeah, because it's not like a 9 to 5 job where you just get sick of it and it's like, yeah, who cares? Like, there's nothing really to work towards. I'm not gonna own this company. I'm not gonna be the guy. Like, fuck am I even
Yeah.
doing here? But even if you're on an organization that's not doing very well, it's obviously in your best interest to take the shit seriously, be available, have a good career, because either you could go somewhere where you can win, or you'll be on a shitty organization that lets you score all of the points,
Hmm.
and you can become a legend at some point. Like, just come on, dude. Like, you have the talent.
And
To
he's
be
sitting on a
absolutely
possible
amazing.
second contract too. Sorry to cut you off there, but he could be sitting on a huge second contract too.
Yeah,
Not many
but
athletes, especially in I think more NFL, get that second contract, that huge contract.
yeah.
I
And do
think
you
it
know how
happens
good you
more in
have to be?
basketball.
Yeah, but like, do you know how good you have to be to even still be considered for that kind of contract with your injury history?
Like max contract or the super max, you have to be all NBA, right? All
Yep.
NBA 1 or 2. You have to be an all star. I mean, those two things, especially in the West, that's hard to just be an all star in the West,
Oh yeah.
and that's a prerequisite to be the supermax player. That's pretty hard.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't
Uh,
know. We always say every week we say New Orleans is in trouble. They have a lot of
yeah.
question marks, and I think they just get more and more every week.
Yep.
It all
Yep. Yep.
revolves around Zion. That is the main
Yep.
thing. What's he gonna do? What do we do? What do we do going forward? Do we think he's gonna get in shape? And I think him being in New Orleans probably has his morale down too. His drive, like, oh, this place sucks. We don't
Yeah.
win.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna take the easy way out and request a trade.
Yeah.
Which I don't think that's the right way to do it. But how many athletes have done it, gone that way? Numerous.
Yeah. It's
Bradley
understandable
Beal.
because like it's got to be so hard being that good. Like, even on his best day, where he's healthy and all that. It's got to be so damn hard looking at your future and going, fuck, like, been in the league, a couple years now, and
Yeah.
I want to win a chip, but I'm never gonna do that here. And then like reality starts setting in. It's like, oh my God, well, I gotta get the hell out of here because
Yeah.
like I got my career to think about. Like, I get it, but you're also never available. You're always injured,
Hmm.
and it's because you don't take care of yourself. When you take care of yourself and you're locked in, you are fucking dominant. Like, you are the definition of dominant.
Yeah. And then it's like, oh, well, now I'm 29, 30 years old. Well, now my body's starting to kind of not be as athletic as I was. Oh, wait,
Yeah,
I got to try harder now. I don't know if I want to do that. I mean, I
yeah.
no longer
It's like,
have the
dude's only
skills when I was 22.
yeah, it's like dude's only like 24, 25. Like, he's
Yeah.
still got like 10 years ahead of him, and he already like I don't know, man. It's frustrating because I I remember seeing his first couple of games, and I was super hyped. And then they played the Lakers, and he was going against Bron, and I was like, this dude is absurd.
Yeah,
Like, this dude is absurd.
he put up 40 in 2 games against the Wolves when he played.
Yeah,
They beat the
yeah.
Wolves with
It's
him.
like, yeah, and you're looking at him, and you're like, how the fuck do we stop this guy?
Yeah,
Nobody wants to get in front of him because even if they draw an offensive charge, they might not be coming back into the game after that.
I hate to say it, but I kind of see his career going down like Joel Embiid. Because Joel Embiid's 31 now. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
How many years has he missed a couple months, out for the year? And it's like, I think his career's starting to go down that path.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's
Zion knows how good he is, too. That's the thing. He knows how good he is. He just can't stay healthy.
everybody knows how good he is. You can't tell me there's nobody in the league that looks at him and they're like, "Oh yeah, I can whoop his ass no problem." Like, nah. He's a problem.
They just look at him and say, this guy needs to lose a little weight. That's what they
Yeah.
probably say.
Yeah, like thank God he's not 20 pounds lighter because he'd be jumping over me.
Yeah. I want to see what they have, what ESPN has him listed at for weight. I mean, I know it's probably always wrong, but
Let's say like 305.
let's see what they say.
We don't know when he was measured though.
Tons of red just all over this roster. Oh, he's not.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
So Jordan Hawkins. These were their starters: Alvarado, Jordan Hawkins,
also.
Bruce
Yep.
Brown, Kelly Olynyk, and Yves Misi. That was their starters.
Yeah, you're not going anywhere with that.
6'6", 284 for Zion.
Damn.
A lot of that would be muscle if he could shed 20, 30 pounds. The guys would be like running out of the way because they don't want to be physical with him. He'd like hurt them for how strong
Yeah.
he is.
Yeah, he was like Shaq when he was with the Magic.
Yeah,
Like that's
exactly.
that's
Yep.
not it's not
a
too
little
far
shorter.
off, which is
Yep.
the sad thing. Yeah.
Yep.
It's not really too far off. He's that fucking dominant.
Yeah, it's a
Like
good
he's got that
comparison.
whole spin move dunk, like getting people out of the way with his size because nobody wants to mix it up with him. He's big as shit.
It's kind of how Russell Westbrook was coming in the league. How fast he was on the fast break.
Oh God.
He'd run so hard that when he'd make contact, guys would like get hurt, and they'd like, God, this
Yeah.
guy's just like he's so quick. He's all over the place.
Oh, and explosive as hell too. Like he's gotta be the most athletic point guard of all time, right?
Yeah, you'd have to put him in that conversation.
Like at least the most athletic, because Jesus, like dude, in his early days,
Yeah,
good God, and he was just 100% like 1,000 miles an hour the entire game.
yeah,
And God forbid he gets on a fast break, he's dunking the shit out of that, and then he's gonna be screaming and pumping his
Yep.
chest like he's not wasting energy when he does that. He's getting more back. You
Yeah.
know, so it's like he's a pain in the ass.
yeah. So that'll be fun. It'll be an interesting summer, and it'll be
Yeah.
fun Game 7 tomorrow. And kind of see how the playoffs shake out here next week this weekend, I guess, tomorrow when the other matchups start.
Mhm.
One other thing I wanted to mention in the NBA is Greg Popovich. I don't think we can leave without mentioning Greg Popovich stepping down as coach of the Spurs.
Yep.
All-time winningest coach in NBA history. 1,422 regular season wins. He's
Damn.
transitioning to full-time president and basketball operations now, as
Nice.
Mitch Johnson will take over and coach. And some of these stats are crazy. I knew the 22 consecutive playoff seasons from 98 to 19, but I didn't know he won at least 50 games in 18 straight years.
Serious?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Already in the Basketball Hall of Fame. He's not even retired
Well,
yet.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he had those health issues earlier. He had that stroke. He had the thing where he collapsed at the restaurant, and
Yep.
I'm glad to see him go out because he needs to address his health first and figure that out. And I think he just said it was too big of a risk to stay on the sidelines and travel. But he's still going to be with the team, so that's good at least.
Yeah. President of basketball operations.
A lot of people were
Run
reaching
everything.
out on Twitter. Becky Hammon, his assistant for many years, who played in the WNBA. Wemby reached out to him. Parker, Ginobili, a lot of guys reached out to Pop.
He's a legend.
If you guys ever get some time, go and see some of the old, like 2000 videos in the 2000s of Greg Popovich, like his interviews and stuff. I mean, you remember his interviews with the sideline reporters, kind of trolling him a little bit.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I like him.
Yeah.
Like,
like,
he was.
What do you guys got to do to get better? Make baskets.
Yep.
Well, you guys aren't getting back on defense. What do you got to do? Hustle. Okay, thanks, coach.
Yeah. Yeah. He was. He was like the Bill Belichick of the NBA.
Yeah. Yeah, he's always been a good guy too. Out of basketball and stuff.
Yeah.
He also coached the national team. Won a world championship, the Olympics and
Yep.
stuff like that. So he's done everything. The 5-year extension with the team he agreed to in 23. So he's got three more years, and he'll probably fully retire after that. You don't think he'd go anymore, do you?
I mean,
Once that's up.
wouldn't think so. Who knows though?
Yeah,
Jerry
but-
Jones is like 101, and he's still doing it.
God, Jerry Jones, man.
Those fucking Cowboys.
You got anything else in NBA or WNBA or college or anything?
I don't think so. Think we're good.
I think
Except for the game
WNBA,
tomorrow.
they started today, I believe.
Right on.
But
Get
they
more
were
Angel
playing,
Reese
like,
highlights.
it's preseason because they were playing
Okay.
like Latvia and like other countries and stuff like that.
Yep. Get more of those Angel Reese highlights. Let's get it.
Shit, a no look pass.
Oh, okay. Well, you're a professional basketball player. I would hope you can do that.
Not much happened in the NFL. Yeah. I did see something on Twitter about some guy ranked his no, a former player ranked his best wide receivers of all time and didn't have Chris Carter in the top 10. You think Carter should be in the top 10?
You would think he would be. Not even the top 10. Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Oh, it was Sante Samuel, the former Patriot. Didn't have
Wasn't
Carter
he a
even in the
corner?
top 10.
Oh, he was a corner though, so it must have been like top 10 that he was going against.
I think I can.
Oh, that's a
get to that
quarterback.
list
Sorry.
Again. Yeah, it was funny because Carter kind of reached out and just said, "Yo, yo," he just kind of. So here's the Samuel's list. This is in no order. Obviously, Jerry Rice, Terrell Owens, Isaac Bruce, Larry Fitzgerald, Randy
Yeah.
Moss,
Yep.
Marvin Harrison, Tim Brown, Julio Jones. He has 9 and 10 blank. He just says we can argue about 9 and 10. Now, do you think Carter should be ahead of any of those players?
No.
Well, he should be in the top 10, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it also depends on who else is thrown up there though.
Yeah.
Calvin Johnson's not even up there?
I mean, Antonio Brown should be up there, don't you think?
Yeah, AB and Megatron for sure.
I think he might have to take out Julio Jones and add. I think he should have 3 spots. Take out Julio Jones, put in Carter, Megatron, and Antonio Brown. I think.
Yeah.
I just don't think
I'm glad he
Julio
said
cracks the
Chris,
top
though.
10.
You don't think so?
No, not ahead of those guys. I don't know.
I think at least he's ahead of Chris Carter. So yeah, I guess I agree with leaving him off the top 10.
Yeah, it was crazy. These guys are like going nuts over not having him on there. I mean, most of them were Viking fans too. So
Okay. It's like, look at the list though. Like, you can't
That's
put
a
him ahead of
pretty-
Randy Moss.
No.
Obviously, Jerry Rice. No. Fitzgerald, probably not. Dude was he was a menace.
yeah, even
Isaac
Marvin
Bruce,
Harrison was really good too. Tim Brown was.
Oh yeah.
Tim Brown averaged like 120 catches a year.
Yeah. And Isaac Bruce was a stud back in the day too.
Yeah, with that great offense with Kurt Warner, Marshall Falk, and
Yeah, you also have to think about what quarterbacks that they had at the time when he was guarding them. Like, that has a lot to do with it. Kurt Warner was like, he didn't suck. He was pretty damn good.
and Jerry Rice had Montana and Steve Young, 2 of the best, maybe the best quarterback.
Yeah.
Joe Montana, and then Steve Young,
Yeah.
obviously another Hall of Famer. And,
And the Cardinals had Kurt Warner again,
yeah,
and Carson Palmer just chucking that bitch like 80 yards down the field to Fitz. It's
Yeah.
like, and he was also like 6'8". So yeah, he's gonna be hard to guard.
Fitzgerald he's from Minnesota, so I know him well. I didn't know that he was like top 3 in almost every receiving category.
Yeah.
Like he's people when you think of wide receivers in the NFL, you don't really think of him though. You always think of Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, Terrell Owens. You
Yeah.
probably think of like nowadays like Jefferson, Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
But like Larry Fitzgerald is always like kind of under the radar.
I mean, it might be because I was a huge Cardinals fan growing up, but I always had him in the top 5.
Yeah, and I looked up his stats. I think
eye test
earlier
alone.
this week. He's like top 3 in every stat.
He was amazing.
He's a good guy too. He's a really nice guy, really good in the community. Does a lot for kids too.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean Marvin Harrison had Peyton Manning.
He's hurt. He's pretty good from what I've heard.
Yeah, Peyton Manning was pretty good, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Tim Brown, I think he had. Did he have Jeff Hostetler there for a while? Rich Gannon, maybe.
He's the only one on the list that I don't really know.
Timmy, the old Raider.
Yeah, I don't really know him too much.
Let's see where Tim Brown ranks. I think he had a shitload of catches. I know that. So he's 3rd most receptions, 1,094. 3rd most touchdowns with 100. 2nd highest receiving yardage with 14,934. And he's
Damn.
also 5th in career combined net yardage.
I never hear anybody bring his name up.
He was the
It's
only
always-
player to retire in the NFL top 5 leaders for both receiving and return yards. That's right. He was a punt
Damn.
returner for a while.
Yeah. What a beast.
5th all time with 3,320 punt return yards too.
Damn.
You don't ever see him around either. Like even when like the Raiders play, they never mention him. They never like show him anywhere.
Yeah. That's nuts.
Well, it's dysfunction though. It's the Raiders. They're a dysfunctional franchise. They have
Well-
been.
A little bit.
Their owner Davis and now Mark Davis and some of the shit they've done over the years. I don't know what the Raiders are doing.
Yeah.
And now
I like the
Brady's
Memphis
buying
of the
in.
NFL.
Yeah.
I like the Grizzlies of the NFL, man.
The Ja Morants, right?
Like, we're awesome. Look at how tough we are. Fuck, we lost again.
Yeah. That's about all I had. See if there's any big
Yep.
college basketball news. Rick Pitino's facing Kentucky for the first time since 2016. Oh, Arizona got another good prospect to join Bryce.
Who's that?
The top international prospect is going to Arizona. Your guess is as good as mine on how to pronounce this, so I'm gonna
Oh, boy.
butcher this. It's spelled S-I-D-I, so CD.
Okay.
Last name's Gueye. Guay?
Why? Wait. Yeah, I don't know.
6'11"
CD
forward
Gueye?
from Senegal.
Sweet.
Oh, he played in the Spanish league, so that Spanish league is like the #1 international league.
Hell yeah. Got the
Played-
next Jokic on our squad. Let's go.
Played for Real Madrid. There you go.
Hey.
An elite defender who's often tasked with guarding smaller players. 7'4" wingspan. And prolific shot blocker. Well, I hope, right?
Ooh. So he's just a monster.
Oh, wow. Arizona loves international players, I guess. They have a bunch of them on their team right now, apparently.
Might as well.
Anthony Del Orso from Australia, Matjajevic Krivash from Lithuania, and Dwayne Aristoti from Netherlands. So now add this guy
Well
to the
done.
team. With Bryce James.
Yeah, dude, that fan base is like, it's gonna be a nightmare. Like, you know, saying your favorite player if it's not Bryce James. It's like, oh yeah, I like that one guy who's really good. Yeah, who? I don't know how to say his name or pronounce it or anything.
Yeah. Yeah,
But I like
KJ
him.
Lewis. And KJ Lewis transferred. And Caleb Love obviously is out of eligibility. So they're gonna lean on Bryce James. They're gonna need him.
Yeah, they're gonna suck.
You're not
They're gonna
not very optimistic for the Wildcats?
not really, not really. But it'll be cool to have a James player.
I like him more than Bronny. Obviously, they say he's better, which I don't think takes much, but I think he's just different mentality. I just think he's more in tuned.
Ronnie hasn't warmed up yet, dude. Just watch. Just watch.
Well, he did say after game 1, he's got to play more than 3 minutes to lock up Anthony Edwards.
Yeah. See, he knows already. He knows what's up. He's got that championship mentality.
He went from 3
Should've
minutes
put
to
him in
0 minutes.
They should have put him in there. You could have locked up Ant-Man.
Well, then for sure the Wolves would have went on an even bigger run.
Whatever, dude. You're not giving Bronny enough credit. He would kill it. Fourth
Well,
quarter
we'll
domination.
see next year, right?
Yeah, we'll never know this year.
I
Next
think
year.
that's what we're gonna keep saying for him. We'll see what he does next year. We'll see what he does next year. Then he's gonna be like 35.
No, it's gonna go from like, we'll see what he does next year to be like, I can't wait to see what he does next year. He's just gonna keep elevating, man. Just watch. You're a hater.
I'm a realist. I see what's going on out there. I see he gets 3 minutes a game in the playoffs because they're down 20 with a minute to go.
Playoff experience. That's what I see.
That's right. So next year, when they need him, when he's in their rotation, right?
Dude.
They're gonna be like, we're gonna rely on Bronny off the bench here. We're gonna need him to score his 1.8 points per game. That's gonna excel us to the win.
How else is LeBron James gonna win his 5th championship ring? Just saying.
Oh, and LeBron said, nothing's bigger than playing with his kid this year. That's the ultimate.
Exactly.
He says it's bigger than winning a championship.
Exactly. So they're gonna get to the playoffs next year. Bronny's gonna be way better. They're gonna be on the court at the same time, and LeBron's gonna turn back the clock like 10 years. Head at the rim, you know, just cocking it back, and boom.
Or he's gonna. So let's say this: LeBron plays one more year.
Mm.
Then he retires and becomes president of basketball operations with the Lakers.
Uh-huh.
They somehow get Bryce. It'll be Bryce and Bronny show with Luca.
Yep.
and or let's say LeBron trades Bronny. What do you think
That'd be
about
hilarious. Trade him to Miami.
that? There we go. Yeah, him and Hero.
Yeah. Be dope. Trade him to Coach Spo. Like,
You-
whip,
you
whip my
think-
kid into shape.
You think Bryce is going to be worth the hype?
Could be, honestly. Like,
He'll obviously be
I don't know,
one and
man.
done, right?
you would think so, yeah. That's why I think LeBron's gonna stick around for at least like 2-3 more years.
Try to play with both of them.
Yep.
Watching this series,
I
man,
mean-
I don't know if his body can hold up 2 more years.
Whatever, dude. He was fine.
He looked defeated.
He still scored like 22 a game.
That game where he played 24 straight minutes, man, he looked like he got like hit by a bus.
So what? He didn't score in the fourth quarter of 2 straight games. That doesn't say nothing.
He's not tired at all, right? He spends,
Yeah.
doesn't he spend like over $1 million on his body every year, though? He says.
Allegedly, he cleared that up on the Pat McAfee show.
Is it or
Allegedly.
allegedly?
Yeah, allegedly. He doesn't know where people got these figures from. I'm like, dude, I'm pretty sure you said it at one point, but whatever.
That's pretty amazing, though, how great a shape he is, though, over all the years.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, you know, he's before load management. He hasn't really had any major injuries. Maybe 1 year.
No, not really. It's been pretty
Oh.
consistent.
Yeah, gotta credit him. He's always in great shape. I mean, holy crap! Even
That's
as a
what goats do.
40-year-old now.
That's what goats do.
Yeah, Jordan had a pretty athletic body too. Talking
Yeah, but
Jordan
he stopped
GOAT,
caring
right?
after a while. Yeah, no, he stopped caring after a while. LeBron still cares.
Well, Jordan doesn't care now. He's just out golfing, smoking cigars every day.
He came back for like a novelty, you know, like, yeah, I'll play with the Wizards for a little bit, fuck around.
He was an all-star
Got
that
40.
year.
Got 40 every now and again just for fun.
But that was back when every team had to have an all-star. You know when they had that rule in the NBA? And that was when the Wizards weren't very, very good. And he was their one all-star. I think they
Well,
had
are you
Jerry
gonna pick anybody
Stackhouse.
over him?
I think they had Jerry Stackhouse at the end of his career. Remember Jerry Stackhouse?
Yep.
I think he was on that team. I think he might have been in his upper 30s as well.
Probably.
I think he was their second best player. Jerry
Yep.
Stackhouse.
Yeah, that ain't good.
All right, we're probably gonna call it a wrap here. Remember, we're
Ooh.
on YouTube. Look us up on YouTube. Subscribe. It's all free. Check us out.
Yep.
Try to do one during the week. Kind of recapping
Yeah.
first couple games of the second round. See what's going on there. See what's
Yep.
see how much the Celtics and Knicks are beating each other up, and see if the Cavs didn't beat the Pacers by then.
Yep. Celebrate Golden State beating that shit out of Memphis. That'll be exciting.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good matchup too. Either if it's the Wolves Houston, Wolves Golden State, that'll be a good matchup.
That's gonna be Golden State. Curry's got this in the bag.
You'd think Game 7, it's probably gonna go with the experienced team, right? You'd think.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, all right. We want to thank everyone for tuning in, and thanks, Jesse. We'll see you next week. Everybody have a great night.
Yeah. See ya.